Good morning, Willowbrook. Thanks for continuing on our daily Devo. Have you ever heard someone say that the Old Testament shows us a God that is harsh and a God that judges, and the New Testament shows us a God of grace and a God of mercy? You know, I think people who say that have never really read and studied the Old Testament. A matter of fact, our passage today in Exodus 33 is an incredible picture of God's grace and mercy to the nation of Israel. Remember, the nation of Israel has blown it in chapter 32 about as bad as they could. When Moses is with God getting the Ten Commandments, they are creating a false idol, one of the things the Ten Commandments said they're commanded not to do, and worshiping it. And you know the story. I won't recap it. That was yesterday. But now we're in chapter 33, what happens here? The nation of Israel has just blown it. It's just horrible. What's going to happen? You know, have you ever had a fight with your spouse and you wake up the next day and you kind of think, I wonder how it's going to be today? I mean, is she going to talk to me, or is he going to talk to me, or how long will it take to straighten this out? And then right in chapter 33, those first verses, God commands Moses to get up and take the nation to the promised land, the place which he has promised to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob. In other words, he is continuing right on with his grace and mercy. Yes, there's been consequences for their sin, but now they have been forgiven and they're going on to fulfill God's covenant. See, again, that is such grace. That is such mercy. And I think if we look in the Old Testament, since we've been reading the Old Testament, we see it from the very beginning. When Adam and Eve blow it, he's not harsh. He doesn't judge them. He shows them mercy. He allows them to live. He allows them to leave the garden. Even the ark, which we see as judgment, is actually grace, because it was the ark that God allowed mankind to enter, that allowed our race to continue. He could have wiped us off the earth. If we look at Abraham, again, think of how many times he blew it, how many times he didn't trust God, and yet God was there. It's hard to name a patriarch that didn't blow it, that God didn't show grace and mercy to. See, the grace and mercy we see in God is not a New Testament thing, but it is an Old Testament thing too. And I'll challenge you to do this. As we continue to go through the Old Testament, look again in Mark. You may even put in your Bible, put grace or mercy next to those times when you see God showing grace and mercy. And you know what you're going to find out? When you look back at the Old Testament, you're going to see grace, 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 because God is a God of grace. It's not a New Testament thing. It's a God thing. He is the same, and he offers you his grace, his mercy where you are now. Ultimately, Christ came. He died for us when we couldn't do anything. Our sin created a distance that was impossible for us to close, and God closed the distance through Christ, offering us that our sin could be placed on Christ and his righteousness placed on us. What incredible grace. Guys, I just want to challenge you as you continue the daily Devo. Remember, look for God's grace. Look for God's mercy. You will see it again and again. And make sure you walk with him and experience that grace and mercy each day. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for continuing on our daily Devo.